So here's just I'm searching the hashtag Whole Foods Sick Out over on Twitter. Here's a person named Joshua Clark Davis. The Whole Foods strike is a big deal. This will be the first national strike in Whole Foods history. Even before Amazon bought it, the company was virulently anti-union. Yeah, because I think before Amazon owns Whole Food, it was owned by some guy who was actually like some big right winger. I forget the details about him, but apparently he was not a good dude. He was like some big right wing dude, anti-union dude. I don't remember all the details, so I'm not going to go on. But yeah, anyway, like it was like a lot of us were Whole Foods weary before Amazon stepped in. Like I tried to avoid that place for a long time because of stuff I heard about the owner before Jeff Bezos. But anyway, okay. So, and I guess this guy gave an anti-union rant. So there you go. Ellie Bell says this, reminder that the Instacart strike only started yesterday. And the Whole Foods strike and Whole Foods sick out starts today. Please continue to not support or give your money to these companies. It's not a one-day thing. All right. Whole Foods employees are staging a nationwide sick out. Here's the Vice article that we talked about yesterday. Isn't it weird that Vice, which again, Boots Riley pointed this out on Twitter. In fact, you know what? Let me try to find the tweet. I'll try to find Boots Riley's tweet because that's better than me just sort of trying to rehash it. I'll just try to find the tweet itself. And again, this isn't necessarily a defensive. I'm not a big Vice fan, so this isn't necessarily good for Vice. But this is kind of saying, isn't it interesting? Let me try to find the tweet because he really summed it up nicely. But he's basically saying, like, can you imagine, like Vice is covering this? And here we go. Here's the tweet. All right. So check it out. Let me show you the tweet. This is from Boots Riley, which, by the way, I tweeted at Boots Riley recently because I could not find an email address for a publicist for him or anything like that. So I tweeted at him and I said, hey, I'm a big fan. I'd like to have you on an interview series I'm doing called Sounds of Revolution. How could I get in touch with somebody to discuss that further? And I'm hoping he tweets me back. So fingers crossed. If you want to find that tweet and give it a like or give it some love, that would be helpful. I'd appreciate that very much. But here's what Boots Riley had to say that I think is very interesting. Go back in a time machine 40 years and tell somebody that Teen Vogue is more radical than Mother Jones in the year 2020. Well, that maybe even Vice will be more radical than Mother Jones. We'll name a whole bunch of mags that are more radical than Mother Jones, and they'll get it. Yeah, isn't it interesting? Vice is covering the Whole Foods sick out. And Teen Vogue isn't. Or, excuse me, Teen Vogue. Mother Jones isn't. Mother Jones isn't talking about it much, if any. And Mother Jones they have declined big time. Big time. Mother Jones has declined. So yeah, Boots Riley said that. I think that's very interesting. And hey, Vice at least wrote an article about it. Not a big Vice fan, but they at least covered this some. Others are trying to completely ignore it. Let's see what else there is in the hashtag so far. So here's a worker trying to balance feeding ourselves and staying healthy with protecting others and making it possible to stay home. Instacart strike, solidarity with other workers fighting for protection. Boston Socialist Alternative says this, solidarity to the Whole Foods workers participating in the Whole Foods sick out today. Customers, don't cross those picket lines. Whole Foods strike. So this is going on right now. Here's a tweet from Whole Worker. Whole Worker is a grassroots movement of Whole Food members' teams collectively voicing our experience at Whole Foods and working to unionize. So here's something that they tweeted out yesterday. Amazon couldn't even stop from profiting off of family separation. We know Amazon has no value for human life and won't stop putting our lives at risk. That's why we're calling out tomorrow. So here's their official statement on the global sick out that's happening today and happening right now. So here it is. We call on all Whole Foods Markets employees to engage in a mass sick out on March 31st. Coronavirus is a very real threat to the safety of our workforce and our customers. We cannot wait for politicians, institutions, or our own management to protect us. We call upon Amazon to allocate the necessary resources for us to do our job safely. We need guaranteed paid sick leave for workers who can't work. Reinstatement of healthcare coverage for part-time and seasonal workers. Bet you didn't even know they tried to take that away. Guaranteed hazard pay. Implement of new policies that can facilitate social distancing. Commitment to ensuring that all locations have adequate sanitation equipment. Immediate shutdown of any location where workers test positive for coronavirus. Bloomberg.com will tell you how unreasonable that is. Media outlets like Bloomberg will tell you this is just workers trying to take advantage of a pandemic. They're just being opportunists. Does that sound like people being opportunists to you? Those demands that, again, they should never have to ask for. Any workplace should just provide all of that, no questions asked, immediately. In other countries, they do. Immediately, no questions asked. Workers don't need to ask for anything like this. Here in the United States, workers do, because our corporations are beyond predatory, and they're able to exist as such because we have a complicit media who serves as their mouthpieces because they're owned by them. Do you see why a corporate-owned media is the absolute worst media structure you could possibly have? It is authoritarian. There's just more hands involved in the authoritarian state. Do you see that now? Do you see why Noam Chomsky says things like any authoritarian society would be envious of the media the United States has? And I'm paraphrasing. That's not his exact quote, but that's basically the theme of the quote. Do you see why Noam Chomsky says stuff like that? And he's right when he says it. But let's talk about how scary state-run media is. Oh, our media structure is the absolute freaking worst. That's why we are not even in the top 50 when it comes to the press freedom rankings. We're not even in the top 50. And we don't deserve to be. Let's see here. Here's the second part. Oh, it's the same thing, just in Spanish. So there you have it. That's what they're demanding. And this is happening today, and this is happening right now. So hopefully nobody is at your local Whole Foods. Hopefully no one's there. There's one down the street from me. I'm tempted to kind of just walk there and just kind of look in and see if anyone's working. And I hope no one is. I hope they're not able to open. That's what I hope. You know, I go for a walk each day to get some sunlight. That's something that I think is important to do. I recommend you do that as well. And, you know, I'm going to try to walk by my Whole Foods today and see if anyone's there. In fact, I'll take a video of it. I'm going to walk by my Whole Foods and take a video of it. By my Whole Foods, I just mean the Whole Foods that is located in my neighborhood. I don't go there, but I'm going to walk by today. Maybe I'll even walk in and see what's going on. That'd be funny if I walked in and a bunch of people started yelling, "Scab!" And I'm like, no, I'm documenting. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not buying anything. I swear, this is my phone camera. I do a thing on YouTube. It's like, no. That'd be funny, actually, if that happened. That'd be so funny if that happened and I documented it. Like I just go, I'm like, we're going to see what's happening at Whole Foods. We're going to see if anyone's working, and I'm going to go in and see what the scene's like. And then I go, someone's like, "Scab, we're striking." Like, no, I just want to. Maybe that'll happen later today. Maybe. We'll see. Here's hoping. I'm going to go there later today, and I'll document whatever happens. And it could be absolutely nothing. It could just be me like, hey, it's not open. People all participate in the strike. Whole Foods isn't open. Would you guys want to go get a drink or something? And then we'll do a virtual beer. I'm thinking of asking some of my friends to do that, by the way. Like some of my friends, I've done one of those like FaceTime meals, you know, like my sister and my brother-in-law, we did a thing where we all FaceTimed each other while we were each having dinner and just had like we were all having dinner together. And, but you know, some of your buddies, you know, be like, hey, let's have an e-beer, you know? I'm going to do that. You feel weird asking, but I feel like you should. And I'm going to. Especially like some of my, some of my guy friends that I want to ask to do that, you know, like they're single and I'm married. So I don't know if that, like, does that mean maybe it's kind of in my Like maybe it's in my like maybe the ball's in my court to ask. You know what I mean? I don't think that should be the case. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm just thinking out loud. But anyway, solidarity with Whole Foods, solidarity with Amazon, the workers, not the companies. You guys knew what I meant, right? I think you got it. Solidarity with the Whole Foods workers, solidarity with the Amazon workers, solidarity with the Instacart workers. You guys are heroes. Chris Smalls is a hero, and you guys are really doing the work. And we need a general strike. We needed a general strike before this pandemic happened. And, you know, I think everybody was just wondering, how do we even go about something like this in a place like the United States? It's set up so that it's pretty much impossible for something like a general strike to happen, because so many people are just living hand to mouth and paycheck to paycheck, that it's like, well, if you strike, you might not be able to feed your family. And that's by design, folks. It's by design. Our work culture is beyond toxic, and it's set up that way so that a few people who really own this country can get richer. But you know, maybe the one silver lining in all this, like I said yesterday, maybe the one silver lining is all this is that this will lead to the general strike that we need. So we're going to continue to watch this as this unfolds. I'm going to take a walk, see if my local Whole Foods is open at some point, and we'll continue to keep an eye on this, and solidarity with the workers.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and